They say love always finds a way, but when it comes to Ashanti and Nelly, the way back wasn't paved with roses. It was layered in rumors, red flags, and unresolved tension. For nearly a decade, fans wondered if the two would ever find their way back to each other after a quiet breakup that left more questions than answers. And when they did reunite, it didn't feel like a clean love story. It felt like a second chance hiding behind unfinished business. It all started back in 2003, when the two met at a Grammy press event. Their chemistry was instant, but their relationship was anything but public. No confirmation, no red carpets, just quiet dates and subtle nods. For years, their romance remained unspoken until it ended in 2013, and while they never offered a clear explanation, whispers of betrayal and emotional disconnect followed. Now, here's where it gets messy. Most breakups fade over time. People heal, move on, start fresh. But not them. For Ashanti and Nelly, time only buried their connection deeper. Psychologists call this attachment rupture, when two people separate, but the emotional thread doesn't snap. Instead, it lingers beneath the surface, waiting. And when time blurs reality, memory becomes a dangerous trickster. That's called rosy retrospection, a bias that makes past moments seem better than they actually were. It's why old lovers sometimes feel magnetic after years apart. You forget the bad, remember the laughs, the familiar touch, the comfort. But nostalgia isn't clarity, it's a filter. And filters have a way of hiding real damage. In 2017, Nelly found himself at the center of a storm. A woman accused him of crossing serious lines on his tour bus. The details were disturbing. Claims of being forced, pushed off the bus, then tossed a $100 bill. She wasn't alone. More women from other countries came forward with similar stories. While no criminal charges stuck, Nelly admitted to being unfaithful to his then longtime partner, Chantel Jackson. That's not speculation. That's on record. The pattern? Cheating, denial, then damage control, but rarely accountability. And what stood out even more was how easily he seemed to move on. No major public reckoning, no visible growth, just silence. Then came the awkward moment no one saw coming. In 2021, during a live Versus battle, Ashanti was blindsided. Fat Joe had invited Nelly without telling her. Cameras captured Nelly practically leaping across the stage to greet her. It was the first time she'd seen him in 6 years. Her reaction? Awkward, polite, but distant. She later revealed she was in another relationship at the time and happy, but that didn't last long. Just months later, after a very different kind of scandal, when Nelly accidentally posted a private graphic video to his Instagram story, something shifted. 6 days after that video went viral, Nelly and Ashanti were spotted on a date in Vegas. From public embarrassment to rekindled romance. In less than a week? Some call that timing. Others call it manipulation. Psychologists have a term for it too: crisis bonding. When someone uses emotional vulnerability or scandal to pull a partner closer and reassert control over their narrative. Was it love or was it strategy? Fast forward to 2023. News breaks. They're officially back together. Then rumors swirl. Ashanti's pregnant. Months later, they quietly get married. And just like that, the narrative shifts again. Now it's a family. But what raised eyebrows wasn't the wedding. It was Nelly's reason for it. "I didn't want her to be a baby mama," he said. Not because he was overwhelmed with love, not because he wanted to grow old with her, but because he didn't want the optics. That's not romantic. That's calculated. Let's not forget, this is the same man who had 2 children decades ago without feeling the need for marriage. So what changed? Why now? Some say age. Others say image control. At 50, Nelly has taken more hits to his reputation than most rappers his age. Marrying a global star like Ashanti doesn't just stabilize his public image. It elevates it. It's not just about love anymore. It's about legacy. Then came the big reveal, a reality show. Nelly and Ashanti, We Belong Together, on Peacock. But for anyone watching closely, the cracks were impossible to ignore. One episode featured a decision that split them. Nelly was considering performing at Trump's inauguration. Ashanti and her mother were clearly uncomfortable, and yet Nelly seemed more focused on the opportunity than her feelings. That's not partnership. That's performance. And it got worse. In another episode, Nelly joked, on camera, that he wouldn't help care for their newborn until the child could talk. No diapers, no bottles, no midnight feedings. Just wait until he's with the crew, he said. And Ashanti? You could see it in her face. Tired, unsure, but smiling through it. Because that's what you do when millions are watching. But here's the thing. Parenthood isn't a spectator sport. It's messy, it's exhausting, and when one partner checks out early, it creates a wound that doesn't heal easily. For Ashanti, that means raising a newborn while shouldering public scrutiny and emotional labor alone. For Nelly, it's a missed opportunity to be present in the most fragile, transformative moments of his son's life. And for the child, that distance matters. Early bonding shapes emotional stability. When one parent delays connection, it leaves a gap, and no amount of fame or fortune can fill it. On the outside, their story reads like a comeback, but behind the headlines is a deeper truth. Love, without reflection, repeats itself. Reunions feel romantic because they're familiar, but comfort isn't growth. And history has a cruel way of repeating itself when we pretend it didn't happen. Maybe Nelly and Ashanti believe they've turned the page, but if they haven't written a new story, all they've done is pick up where they left off. Because love isn't just chemistry, it's accountability. And if that's missing, it doesn't matter how long you've known each other, how many fans cheer you on, or how viral your story goes. What matters is whether two people can look at the wreckage behind them and choose to build something stronger, or just tape together the broken pieces for the cameras.